Hello. Here's a video demonstrating a very quick overview of the to-do script for Maya. So in order to get it, you find the download file link in the description of this video, which I'll paste in here. And you'll go to this website and it says download install now, which is this thing here. Drag and drop the file into Maya's viewport and it will create a shelf icon. So we'll click on this to download. There we are. Save the file. And it's a very small file, so it's probably done. There it is. Let's find it in amongst my ridiculously large download folder. Don't let it get that big. So we're going to take our install program and drag it, if you can see that, drag it into the viewport of Maya, which gives us this little thing here, and we want to install. The other thing to keep in mind is it'll install a shelf icon on the shelf that you currently have. So I'm in my shelf, which is fine, but if I was in something like one of these other random ones, I'd probably, you want to switch the shelf that you want to do it. So we'll install. Download and install the thing, and it is done, complete. So close that, and you can't see it up there. I think I need to refresh there. And now we have a little to-do button, which gives us this to-do program. And it may come out like that initially for you, like this. But as you maybe just noticed, you can dock it into the side. From there, we'll let it dock. Get in there. Or you can dock it on the other side, which is what I quite like because I can swap between channel box and this. So the way this works is make a new to-do, another to-do, and you get a whole list of to-dos. And if you click on them, they're ticked off and they're done. You can edit the to-do with this little edit button, and it will change what it says. And this will delete it, which is different to checking it off, and I'll explain why in a second. So let's make a whole lot of random to-dos. Oops. And you can tick them off. Now, the reason these have little save icons next to them is because when you tick them off, at the moment we're in an untitled scene. So it won't do anything, but if this was saved, which it will be in a second, when you tick this off, it saves your scene for you, and it archives it using AMP, if you happen to be using AMP, or you can have it save into a certain file, and I'll show you what it means. So if I go to save the scene, and we'll go to, let's see, my AMP locker, and I'll save it as here I am. So it's really obvious. Save it up. Now, let's refresh AMP. So here's my file, but it's not in AMP yet. What I want to do is I want to, well, let's say I'll make a to-do first. Let's say add to AMP is my to-do that I want to do, and I'll get rid of some of these. Now in here, you have a bunch of settings which allow you to have the file automatically saved off into different places. So if I tick use AMP archive, and you'll only see this if you happen to have AMP running. When I tick this off now, it's just saved the scene for me. And if I go back into AMP and refresh this, you'll see that it is now checked into AMP. And if I go to the history, here it is with my comment. So if I was to say another thing done, bring in a sphere, because we all love spheres, and we can go through your critique, for example, fill this entire thing full of all the notes that you need to do. So let's do that. Let's create a sphere. So here's our amazing sphere that we have created, and because this is still ticked, as it will be, once I tick that off, I have created a sphere. If we have a look back in AMP again, I'll just refresh this. You see there's got 2 on here. And if I have a look at the history, bring in a sphere has been saved into AMP as well. Now you're not restricted to AMP with this at all. If I was to create on my also busy desktop a new folder, let's call this delete, because otherwise I'll forget to delete it. What you can also do is use file archive. So if I tick that now and put this in and go to my desktop and delete me and select that folder, and it'll pop up in here. Let's say set up file archive, and now I'm going to tick this. Now if we look back in AMP again, this will say set up file archive, as you'd expect. But if we go to this folder here, you see there's a new file in here. And if I make this bigger so you can read it, what we have here is the name of the Maya file that we've saved. Here I am. This is actually the time that it was saved, but basically this is to make sure that every save is unique, and if you order them alphabetically, they'll actually be in order of creation, and then the comment at the end. And you'll notice this is a zip file. If I unzip it, what I get is the actual file. So if you choose not to use AMP, or if you like having a second backup local on your computer, and you use this, every time, well, another thing done, every time you tick off things that you've done, they'll be checked into AMP. If you have that checked up, you can uncheck this and stop using AMP totally. And there's another thing done there. Another file saved. And there it is. So it keeps saving as you go, and obviously this folder could get quite large eventually, but you delete them as you go, as you feel that you don't need to do them anymore. But if you needed to go back to another version, there's no hassle opening up the zip file, taking that file again, and just replacing the old file with that one. So that's the gist of it. Now, just a few more things that I can show you. If you're not already sold, if you happen to put something like fix the pop frame 14, for example, you get a special little button on the side here, this third button, and this is a third little convenience button, and you'll see it says go to frame 14, because it's figured out that you actually want to go to frame 14, and if I click on it, takes me straight there. So if you're very verbose, and this kind of encourages you to be very specific with your comments, you can jump around the scene very, very quickly, getting to the places that you need to be to do the work that you need to do. Same thing goes with, if I said frames, I don't know, 20 and 30. Now we get a different icon, jump to frame range 20 and 30. And if I click on that, it takes me to this frame range 20 to 30. If I click on this, we go to frame number 14 again, which is not in this range, it is there. So some little shortcuts. If you want to get particularly hardcore, perhaps you've got, I don't know, refer to the reference It's pasted in that website. And if you have a website, it comes up with a little button which says open URL. If I click on this, it'll take me to the website. If I happen to say, let's say I want to put on, do it this way. Let's put a new material on this thing, and we'll give it a texture of file, and we'll give it something like face. Face all, and see it. So maybe you want to say something like edit the texture on sphere face all JPEG. It'll figure out that you're actually referring to the file, and it'll give you a button to open the file in whatever program your computer opens the file in. That's pretty much it. You might find some more little secret things in there. There's a few little hidden things, such as organizing things into with hashtags. So if I wanted to say, well, actually, this I want to be hashtag blocking, it'll chuck it into a section called blocking. Okay, which I can shrink and organize things. Yeah, anyway, you play with it, you'll figure things out. And that's basically it. It's just sort of a nice, easy way of preparing what you need to do, and then once you're working through it, just ticking them off as you go, and not really having to write in comments after the fact. It is a nice way of keeping, reminding you of what you actually need to do when you come back to a shot later. So hopefully that helps. Enjoy. Ooh, get out of here, face.